becomes obvious to me what real pieces of shit these people. I don't even have the microphone. It becomes clear to me what big, huge, giant, heartless pieces of shit these billionaires are. I was looking not long ago at the list of billionaires, and there's, I forget how many now. Plus, think of the people worth like hundreds of millions, right? And they'll hide behind these foundations where they get these kickbacks at tax time and all. It's always some posturing, and they're not just, and I understand. And someone will say, well, Jay, if Steve Ballmer's worth 132 billion, it's not liquid money. I understand that. I get it. And I get most of it is probably tied up in assets and, real estate, whatever. But you can't tell me that you can't take 10 billionaires to pony up 100 million and then say, okay, we're actually going to make a foundation where we actually give money to real people in need. We're gonna have so much cost put into this program where we sit with people and interview them. So we're not just giving money to drug dealers, but we're gonna give somebody some real money. We're gonna give a family like 40 grand and a place to live, or we're gonna give this single guy. We're gonna help him find a job. We're gonna whatever his debt is. We're gonna wipe out his debt and give him 10 grand. Easily, we can do that. All the technology we have and all the things they go out of their way for, all these apps with gambling and with shopping and Amazon. They could easily do this, or at least attempt it. Nothing is perfect, but you don't like, because I always think if I'm rich and I'm doing well, like I couldn't wait to help people. In fact, I'm doing the worst financially. I'll just be honest that I ever have. I'm struggling, but there's a gentleman, and we all know him now. He's just down the street, maybe about, I'm on a main street here, Clinton. And towards the corner, there's a gas station, there's a Subway, there's a smoke shop. And on that corner, right through the winter, he's there right now. And people argue how homeless this gentleman is, but he's homeless. He's on the street most of the time. He's got a shopping cart. He'll sit with bundled up in the snow, like bundled up when it's cold. I'm in Buffalo. It's freezing here. And now I heard, a lot of us know him, and people talk on Facebook, and he does have somewhere at night to stay, and it does move around. But I have a hard time. Like, if I have a good week, I'll stop and give him 20, even though I'm tight. But I'm like, man, that guy needs 20 more than I can. But man, like I couldn't imagine having all that and not even giving a shit. Like, how can you not even walk past one homeless person or just have it cross your mind without saying, you know what? I can't have all of this and not even try to give my fellow man real money. Not like, oh, here's $100 out of my pocket. But even on a smaller scale, I just caught myself, usually in the wintertime, my girlfriend and I, we stand out on the downtown. It's organized through her cousin's church. And we basically just pass out things to homeless people for a couple hours and crack some jokes, give a smile, try to help them out. Whatever they need, I'll bundle up, I'll go out there, I'll do whatever I got to do. That's my tiny little part. But I mean, I think all the time, man, I wish I could, I'll see somebody out at one of these, when we go out and help the homeless, and I'll see a guy. I'm like, man, what a good dude. I wish I could just give him, I wish I could pull him aside and just give him 5 grand or a grand or something. Some people might say, well, it sounds tacky, this and that, but you know what? This whole system, this whole world, I was thinking, this whole system is Spinal Tap. This whole everything. Life is Spinal Tap now. It's a damn comedy show. But it's not funny when you actually go out there and you see these people. I think of them. I think of the homeless all the time. But for these billionaires and even millionaires and people who, now there are some people doing great things, but where are the big dogs? They don't want to look at that shit. And in their little private clubs and their Illuminati clubs and their Skull and Bones or whatever the fuck they're in, you know, they're surrounded with other people who make it comfortable to not give a fuck about things like that. They just don't care. And I feel like a lot of them get power off of like feeling, above all of us, really, above financially. It just kills me. Like, where are these big things? You can't have 20 billionaires come up with what? 50 million each? Maybe I'm off. No, 50 million each. Even 100 million each. There you go. You got 20, now you got $2 billion. And you just don't whip money. You just don't, drive down the street and throw out money onto the streets. It's not what I'm saying. But actually, where are these movements where people are really getting something? There isn't nothing because they don't want people to get. They want people just to be the help they give. It's like it just keeps them barely alive for another day, week, whatever. It just pisses me off. Pisses me off to know that the Rothschilds family has more than half of the world's wealth, probably more than half the world's wealth, just themselves. I mean, this is by design, and it's just crazy. That's why I just can't even believe even one billionaire just doesn't stand up and say, you know what, I can't believe this because these billionaires are from lineage where they would never do that. That would look terrible. How would that look for the family? How would they look on Christmas? Oh yeah, well, look, he gave away $1 billion to the homeless. Oh, I heard. It's that effed up, man. I know. But that's why I think my mind wanders. I'm sure yours does too. If you're listening to this kind of stuff, you're probably thinking the same thing. Like, where are these really rich people? Not just having a foundation and we're going to have this and that. No, like, and it's this piddly shit and standing in line for a bag of garbage and half good stuff. At least where I go out on the street with my girlfriend and that, there's actually some pretty good stuff, and you can kind of use some judgment and kind of load up some people if there's not a lot of people showing. And these people need some, a family needs extra stuff, we'll load them up. In fact, I have a bunch of stuff behind me. Here is a bunch of stuff I'm selling on the Facebook marketplace, which is, oh my God, it's been a trip. But, it's just good to get out there and get in the mix. And I found a bunch of stuff I put aside for the homeless, really good items too, like stuff I'm just too, outgrown or it's too big on me or whatever, what have you, or if I'm just not using it. There's so many things you can do locally, even if it's 2 hours a week. Just sacrifice 2 hours a week and do it. You'll feel so much better, and it's like your little part. And yeah, but that's pretty much it. Billionaires. Most people don't know how good they have it. I always talk to Chloe Cat. She's the best. But she doesn't know anything but this world. I keep her indoors because she doesn't have her claws, which I would never, ever do again. She's 17 years old, and 17 years ago, I didn't, whatever, 16 and a half, I didn't realize how terrible that is, but that's another subject. Anyways, I don't want her going out anyways. I'm in the city. I don't want her getting out. It's wintertime. It's probably about 10 degrees outside right now. But she's so spoiled, she doesn't realize how good she has it. You know what? I realize the same thing about myself. That's why I'm selling a lot of these different things. That's why I shed a bunch of bad habits, and I realized, man, I have so much great stuff and so many great opportunities. Like, I want to share it. I've been giving stuff away too, but just do your part. And I think it's time to give up on the billionaires. Obviously, they're taking all our money, so obviously, I'm not expecting it. But it's just such a blatant omission. No one ever talks about that. Like, where's the Steve Ballmers? Where's the Jeff Bezos? Where are all these assholes? Come on, you can't chip off a little bit off that mountain? Probably not. All right. Thanks again for joining me. I'm loving the fake fire. If you concentrate enough, it's feels like it's almost real. All right, that's enough. Be back soon. Thank you everyone for the support, and see you next time.